the conference finals in the East. I think a lot of people thought it would be Boston and Cleveland, no matter what sort of went on during the season. And I think everybody in the world thought it was going to be Houston and Golden State in the West. And for more on this, we're delighted to be joined now by Jeff Van Gundy, our fine ESPN NBA analyst. Jeff, you've sort of won a little bit back and forth on Houston versus Golden State during the season. You thought Houston had a chance. They have the number one seed. They have home court advantage. How do you see this Western Conference final playing out right now?
Well, it's really the finals, right? So Whoever wins this is going to win the whole thing, and I think it's going to be fascinating. I think Golden State has a little bit more overall talent, but I think Houston has a hunger advantage that Golden State really can't match because of all their success over the last 3 years. And I think home court advantage eventually will pay off, and Houston will win in 7.
Wow! Oh, so you are going with Houston?
Wow.
That's interesting. I think that's going to be in the minority of picks, but certainly a heck of a pick. As far as in breaking these down, we had Timmy Legler on the other day, and I asked him about, okay, let's look at these two series and let's look at matchup potential. And he said in the NBA of today, you don't talk about matchups anymore because teams just screen and switch, and you can create kind of what you want, a mismatch, so to speak. Can you expound upon that? Is that what we're seeing now in the NBA?
Well, switching is certainly more in vogue, and not just on, pick and roll actions. It's off the ball as well. And I think offenses, after the switch occurs, teams play different. You'll see a noticeable difference between how Houston plays after they get the matchup they want and Golden State. Golden State, for the most part, will continue to move the ball, pass, cut, screen, not allowing the switch to stagnate them. Whereas you'll see Houston right away, Harden and Paul will isolate, and they'll dribble, and test your switcher, usually a big guy, if he can, guard the ball against a Hall of Fame type guard. And so it's fascinating to see the two approaches offensively. The common denominator, the common thread, is that they both create quality shots.
No, they certainly do. Jeff Van Gundy with us, our NBA analyst. I want to go back to you said Houston in 7. Just out of curiosity, but is home court the thing that you think will dictate this, or do you think there's something else in the matchups or the way that Houston plays gives them the advantage over Golden State?
Man, I'm just guessing. I got no clue, right? So if somebody would have said, hey, I think Golden State will win in 5, I'd say, hey, that's a heck of a pick. Or Golden State in 6. Or, it's like, to me, the beauty of it is we don't know.
Yeah.
I think the proven nature of Golden State is probably why most people, they got Durant and Curry now back with Thompson and very good defense. But I think Houston's defense is underrated. Now, they're a team that'll switch 1 through 5 on most actions, and it's confounded a lot of teams this year. They're a very good defensive team. I'm going to be interested to watch, though, when they switch an initial action, can they stay with it for 24 seconds? Because it's different. Like if Clint Capella is guarding a pick and roll and he switches it, and his guy tries to take him one-on-one, that's one thing. He's got very good feet. But can he have the discipline against Golden State where they don't try to go one-on-one right away and they keep moving the ball, cutting and screen? Can they make the second and third and fourth switches that they want to do correctly? And can he maintain his, defensive discipline? I just can't wait to watch. But frankly, no clue about who's going to win.
Jeff, over in the East, at the beginning of the season with Gordon Hayward healthy and obviously Kyrie, Boston ending up in the conference finals, I don't think was too shocking, but you lose Hayward right out of the gate, no Kyrie in the playoffs, yet they're still in the conference finals. What have been a couple of the things in your mind that have put them in position to be where they are right now?
Well, they're a great defensive team with exceptional length. So they moved on from Bradley and Crowder and Isaiah Thomas, and they've gotten bigger at every position. And so now they were a very good defensive team last year. They're an absolute elite defensive team this year. I think they're much better equipped to guard Cleveland this year for many reasons. Their improvements and Cleveland's, I don't know, can you say disimprovements? Whatever, their regression.
They're devolving?
They're not as good. So I think they're just much better equipped, to guard Cleveland. I think the question for Boston is Cleveland's been a very bad defensive team, and then they got steeled a little bit against Indiana, and then I was shocked that they swept Toronto, but they played well, and defensively they were much more active and alert. And so I'll be interested to see if Boston can score enough. But I think everyone's got it like a little bit backwards. I don't see it as I would pick Boston. If you made me give a pick, I'd pick Boston in this series.
Wow. Listen, it's interesting. They will have home court, but it's just so hard, Jeff, to go against LeBron when you see what he's doing. It's funny, the discussion is always, Jordan, LeBron. I feel like this year people are finally appreciating LeBron in a different way, even though there's probably zero chance that he's actually going to win a ring this year because of what he's doing with what he's got around him.
It reminds me a lot of the first time he went to the finals.
Yeah.
Right? They didn't have a lot. They didn't have a great roster, but he was unbelievable in that Detroit series, getting them to the finals against San Antonio. And I think it's the same thing right now. I think he's got guys playing very well right now, but they are limited athletically and talent-wise. It's really remarkable. And the thing about the Jordan-James comparison to me is, comparison can many times be the thief of joy, because when you say one's better than the other one, then you're seeming to denigrate the other guy and his accomplishment. Right. I don't know why we can't just say, both are unbelievable, like certainly of the all-time best. And listen, Toronto, everybody's given them grief about getting swept, and they lost 2 tough games. And the shot James made to end Game 3, that was one for the ages. That is an impossible shot. That was very well defended by Toronto. And I was saying to somebody the other day, you become an all-time great because you win those type of series, right? If you didn't win those type of series, you wouldn't be an all-time great. And like James once again proves why he's an all-time great.
Jeff, let's go to a couple of head coaching questions. First, when there are firsts in a sport, they're always headlined and talked about. Becky Hammon, the assistant coach for San Antonio, getting an interview with Milwaukee, first time for a woman getting an interview for a head coaching job in the NBA, and then the potential of her being a head coach in the NBA. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I've seen her twice in a practice setting with San Antonio when I've watched them in practice, and she was good on the practice floor. They have a great coaching staff. Obviously, everyone knows about Pop, but Coach Messina, James Borrego just got the job in Charlotte, Ime Udoka, Chip England. They got a great staff. It's hard. There's so many qualified assistants who've done it for a long, long time and are dying not only just to get an interview, but to get that one chance. And I don't think she'll get one right now because I don't think she has been on a bench yet. I think that would be the next step for her. But I give San Antonio and her a lot of credit in that when you're trying to break through a barrier for equality, it's a challenge. And, Milwaukee giving her the opportunity to interview, I think sends a signal to everyone that everyone, if qualified, has a chance at these coveted jobs.
Absolutely. Look, it's the first step in what could be an historic process going forward. We'll see how that plays out and what the next thing, as you alluded to, maybe being on a bench going forward will be the next thing for her in her quest to eventually maybe get a chance to be a head coach in the NBA. Jeff, as always, we appreciate it. Thanks for being with us this morning.
Thanks, Jeff.
You got it.
All right, Jeff Van Gundy with us. I love the fact that, I don't know, I could go Golden State in 5, Houston in 7, but that's the way you have to look at it.
He's got Houston and Boston.
Yeah.
in the finals.
But then again, he also said, "Yeah, I could see Golden."
Oh yeah,
State
listen, I know you can,
five.
but to actually make that call and say, I know he said
Yeah.
I don't know, but to give the reasons he gave and said Houston could win this thing, I definitely think he's going to be in the minority there, but who knows?
None of us know.